Warning: electrical shock hazard. Disconnect power before servicing. Replace all parts and panels before operating. Failure to do so can result in death or electrical shock.
Behind me I have a built-in refrigerator. Today we're going to talk about the lighting and the LED modules and how to replace one. In the refrigeration compartment of this built-in refrigerator, we found that this upper LED module is out, so we're going to go ahead and replace it. Please note that some models, a light will burn out and just that single light will be out, like in this one. Some of them will have 4 LED modules wired together, kind of like a Christmas tree light. So when one goes out, the other 3 will go out, but one LED module might be the only one that's bad. You can replace one, move it around and figure out which one. You can replace them all. Before we move any further, I'm just going to go ahead and move the shelf out of the way. Let's just go ahead and put it down to a lower rail. Give me enough room to work in there. Next, we'll turn off the power. In order to turn off the power, you can unplug the unit, you can turn off the breaker, or on a built-in refrigerator, they have a power switch under the grill on the top of the refrigerator. Before we get started removing the module, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of see if I can work it loose with my fingers. Just carefully. I don't want to scratch the line or anything. Just if you can, it's okay, but sometimes it makes it easier. And then I'm going to put some painter's tape. Since I kind of loosened it up with my hand, I can get right underneath it. I'm going to go ahead and just grab some plastic scrapers. And from the bottom, we're going to meet in the middle. We're going to push in and just lightly pull forward. It should not take very much effort to get it out. If for some reason you can't push it in or it's not coming out real easy, stop and call for service. There may be something else that needs to be addressed. The reason why we use 2 plastic scrapers is because there's a little stop. There's a detent right there. So you have to come from the bottom to depress this detent and come to the top to depress this one. And there's 2 little tabs on the side. So I usually just come up and meet up against that stop right there and push it in, and on the other side and just gently lift up and bring it out. On the back side, if you would have to come in from the back to loosen it up, there's 2 tabs again, and there's a little stop, a little detent there. So you have to come from the top down and the bottom up to release it. Or you can get clever and have a little notch in your scraper and just come right in the middle and go right around it. Or if you were coming from the back, you would go right on the side. Able to push those in and slide it right out. On some models, you may find that the light module does not have a connector on it, such as this one right here. In that case, you should stop and call for service. There's a special kit that you splice into the wiring to complete this, and it should be done by a technician. There's a plug and there's a detent. You push it in and pull it out. The detent is on the LED module, the LED portion of the plug. That's where you want to push it and pull it out. Before we put the new LED module in there, I want to just point out one thing real quick. On earlier models, we had an LED module that had a single LED in the center and these little reflectors right here. On the modern LED module, you'll find they're all chrome around the bezel, but there are 3 individual LEDs and they're mounted in the back facing into the fridge. If you were to reverse it, when you open the door, the LEDs would be right into your eyes. If you're replacing an old one, you can replace the module, but we would recommend replacing all the modules, all the LED modules in the refrigerator, just so you have the same illumination and color temperature. And please note the new LED module has improvements with the triple redundancy, better illumination, and better focus of the light. This is the improved module, and this will be the replacement that you'll receive when replacing an LED. So let's go ahead and install this. We're just going to come over. We're going to plug it in. We're going to hold the socket, not the wires. Just make sure it's nice and snug. Before we move any further, we're going to make sure the 3 LED modules are towards the front and facing in. Then we're going to take it. We're just going to slide the harness and module up in there and the wire down around. Come in, push the front in, and gently push the back in. Just make sure it's seated all the way around. And if for some reason you get the harness over and it's not going in, just carefully take it back out, just tuck it back in and place it in again. Now that we got it plugged in and the new module in, the LEDs are facing in, we're just going to go ahead and take the tape off. And let's power the unit up. see what we have.